viewers. Welcome back to another episode of my show. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about a more common or a general topic, which is going to be useful for any and everybody who is listening to my videos. So, this video is about 20 ways you are accidentally being rude. So, a lot of times it happens that we are in a different mindset or there are too many things going on around us and you do not know how to react. Or sometimes it's the personality, sometimes it's the situation, sometimes that's how you're brought up and you do not know that you are being rude to the other person. So these are a few things to keep in mind and think about these things. If you are doing these, you are definitely being rude. And and with that, with these with these points, you can avoid this behavior so that you don't end up being rude. And if you have been doing this in your life, you can hold back or stop doing these things so that you are not known as a rude person. Usually, these things come to you when you're growing up, when you're being raised in the family or being taught manners in the school and in your surroundings. So let's see one by one, what are the ways you can unknowingly become a rude person? Number one, complimenting someone on their new look. Here's an easy way to put your foot in your mouth. Complimenting someone who's just made a drastic change to their appearance, such as by losing a lot of weight, it's a delicate business. Saying something like, wow, I can't believe how great you look, implies the person wasn't particularly looking attractive prior to the changes. So you choose your words wisely. Number two, and this is really funny, asking, hey, how's it going at a funeral? Number three, offer unsolicited advice. If a friend confides in you, the best response sometimes is to listen. However, however good your intentions are, giving your opinion without being asked can sometimes rub the people wrong in a wrong way. Number four, saying, I'll call you. Tell me, how many times many of us have inwardly groaned at this line to avoid awkwardness at the end of the first date? Some people just try to be polite and say, I'll call you, but instead, it's not the best way to say. If you don't mean it, you can just say, I don't think this is going anywhere. Just be straightforward, but politely. Number five, giving directions when you're not at the wheel. Oh my God, I have to change this because this is what I do to my friends who are on the wheel. You should not. This is the worst thing. I mean, especially those who don't even have the driving license. Of course, I know driving. I have a driver's license, but I still do it. We think that we are helping, but we really are not. We are bothering the person who is sometimes kind enough, but many of the times my friend just snap at me and say, please. So I have to change it. I hope many of you who are watching it also need to change this. Number six, congratulating someone on their pregnancy. Asking how far along you are. Never assume a woman is pregnant. If you are not only will you make things incredibly awkward, but most importantly, you'll also really hurt someone's feelings. I've faced it. I know I am a little overweight and I was even bigger than what I am today. And some lady just came to me and say, oh, there's a good news. I just frowned at her. And then she realized she shouldn't have said that. So yes, I have faced this. Going to next, number seven, Guessing someone's age. If someone asks you to guess their age, don't fall into the trap. You should never try to play that game. The person, of course, is hoping you'll think you're younger than they really are. The polite way to go is to take a few years off your real guess, but there's still a chance you'll overshoot, and that's why. Just say, sorry, I'm not good at doing this. Number 8, saying I'm on my way. I used to do this so many times when I was in my grad school back in India. And my very near and dear friend Swati used to be at the movies waiting for me with the tickets in hand, and keep calling me if I've left, and I used to like, I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And now I feel guilty about it. So don't do that. That little lie you tell someone who's waiting for you when in reality you haven't even left the house. You think you're doing it to be reassuring, but you really just don't want to admit you're running late. So please don't do that. Just you can just tell what the truth is. Tell if you're getting late, tell if you're stuck in the traffic, or tell if you're not even ready yet to set off. Just be honest. Number 9, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Other people's problems often seem so simple. There's a good reason for that. They're not yours. Although you might mean well, you should avoid giving advice that begins with, if I were you, because you cannot be them, and you might as well come across very judgmental. Number 10, asking someone why they're still single. Hey, I have faced this question the most by so many people. Why am I single? What is the answer you're supposed to give me? Maybe I am not in a relationship. Maybe I did not find anybody. Maybe nobody liked me. Maybe I did not like. Maybe it's my choice. Maybe it's my preference. I don't understand how good looking girl, guy like you can still be single. They don't say good looking. They say someone who is really established or settled like you is still single. You mean this is a compliment? But it's not nice thing to say. The person is perfectly aware of their relationship status. No need to rub it on our nose. They probably don't have an answer for you. And anyway, who says being in relationship is so essential? We will figure it out. None of anybody's business. Number 11, saying your little boy is so handsome. Complimenting the appearance of someone's child is not as harmless as you might think. It's far too easy to make incorrect assumptions about gender on things like haircut. Happens a lot in uh, in Western countries. I have seen that in my friends. Number 12, doing the dishes at your host's house. A helping hand is always appreciated, but before doing the dishes, or worse, some light house cleaning after a dinner at someone else's home, ask your host if they could use your help. I always do that, but I definitely ask them before I do it. Like, should I just go ahead and should I just help you clean this? Scrubbing the floor or just cleaning something without asking first won't go over well. Number 13, being too honest. You might think you're doing someone a favor, but honesty is not always the best policy. But that doesn't mean you lie. You just shut the F up. Number 14, offering someone your seat on the bus. Sometimes it's clear this is the right thing to do. At other times, the situation is a bit more ambiguous. Is that passenger standing next to you elderly, or they just look old? It's tricky. Yeah. If you're not sure, is giving up your seat the polite thing to do? But I think this is not as serious because anybody who is standing is usually tired and would like to have a seat and have a relaxed commute. So I don't think how serious this can be, but this is supposed not always welcome. Number 15, saying okay without having heard the question. You're in a noisy room and everyone's talking at once. Someone has just asked you the same question 3 times and you still have no idea what they said. You don't want to force them to repeat it the fourth time, so you pretend to understand and say okay. Now, what you have got into yourself. So don't do that. Just make sure to tell him that I'm not able to hear you clearly. We can take this later or some other time and we can talk about it later. We can just wait on to this discussion later. Just do it. Number 16, ordering for someone else at a restaurant. You're on a date and want to show how thoughtful you are. So you order for both of you. The chances of making a good impression are not great, but because you can't be sure the person will like what you've chosen, even if it's your favorite restaurant and you know the best dishes on the menu, resist the urge to impose your preferences. Tip number 17, trying to save face for someone else. The person you're speaking with has something in the teeth. You don't want to embarrass them, so you pretend you saw nothing and keep quiet. The ugly truth is, if you noticed, others will notice too. Next, number 18, getting too personal too quickly. I've seen so many people, and I really get frustrated with people who really get very pry a lot or try to ask too many personal questions. So, when attempting to create a friendly atmosphere and help team members bond, or when trying to make a new colleague feel welcome, some people tend to get familiar too quickly and or just start, like for an example, they call a person you just met by a nickname or oversharing details about your personal life. This can come across as insincere and even make the other person feel offended. So take your time, buddy. Number 19, paying for someone else. Offering to pay the bill is a kind gesture as long as the other person is free to accept or decline. Insisting on paying for someone else, however, can make the other person uncomfortable. And last, number 20, not correcting someone who gets your name wrong. Your boss calls you ex Karen, but your name is Naomi. Out of politeness, you let it slide. Before you know it, she's made this mistake 4 times, then a fifth time. You're feeling more and more awkward about correcting her. At this point, it'll be hard to fix the error without embarrassing her. So make sure to go ahead and correct the person. I want to add my personal on this list is correcting someone's grammar. It's not necessary that the person who is trying to talk in a certain language is very fluent or eloquent in that language. Maybe that is not his first or second language. Maybe he's just trying to learn. So just don't rub on their face if they're making any mistakes. They can, I mean, there are ways to correct people's mistakes while they're speaking, but you don't have to show that you know it much better than them. That might make that person feel that you're giving them some superiority complex. So these are a few things that to remember and avoid so that you don't end up being the rude person. With that, I take your leave and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. With that, I take your leave. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.